Hello YouTube. So back at the unit today, we're getting on with a gearbox oil cooler, transmission oil cooler. So this is the cooler I've gone with. It's just a real simple aluminium pipe design with fins, and the location I'm going to put it is in between the intercooler. Will it follow me? Yeah. In between the intercooler and the radiator, there is a sort of 30mm gap behind there, and that's where it's going to go. So in effect there, but behind there. So we'll get the intercooler off and we'll show you how I'm going to do it. But my thought process behind, you might be thinking, why has he gone with this crap design? Not crap design, but like this cheaper sort of designed oil cooler. And originally, if you remember me saying I was going to go with one of the old engine oil coolers, but I'm not sure the output in terms of the pump on the back of the gearbox. I'm not sure how much in terms of drive sort of pressure it'll put out. And you're going to get a pressure drop, slight pressure drop with this sort of style cooler. That wasn't my main concern. My main concern is the rate in which I go through transmissions, so gears. There's going to be a bit of debris, probably a lot of debris when it shreds a gear. So with this sort of style oil cooler, I can clean it. So I can literally just flush it, put some flush fluid through it and pump it out. It's just a pipe, there's no fins or any complicated parts. So that was my thought behind going with this sort of style cooler over this sort of style cooler that's got a lot of fins and it's pretty complex inside. And also location was the other thing. Me and Dad are looking at it for ages, see where we could fit it. So all we've kept it really simple. 2 barbed fittings. I'm not going to go through everything because it's just a waste of time. I'll show you as I'm doing it. But barbed fittings off the box and just some fuel line, fuel oil lines and real basic stuff. So the other thing I'm going to show you is the scramble button that I did and I wired it in. The overpush button on the steering wheel. I'll put a picture on the screen, but we'll show you that after. And the bonnet scoop's done. So from the last video, me showing you the bonnet scoop, that's done and I'm just riveting onto the car now. So I'll quickly come in and show you that before we get too deeply involved into this. But racing next weekend, so this should be the last job now, real nice and simple. Bang that on, put a bit more oil in, bumper on, and then we're all good to go and get a load onto the trailer ready for next weekend. But yeah, I'll show you this anyway. Yeah, there we have the bonnet scoop real quick. So all I've done is just drilled as close as I could risk going to the edge. I think it's 5mm in from the edge, 4mm or 5mm, hole centers. Probably too many rivets. But let me work these out and I'll pull off and show you. Yeah, there we go. So I'm just going to give that a quick debar underneath there, and then obviously on the scoop itself. But yeah, that's it's come out all right. That it'll certainly be better aerodynamically for the car over that scoop up there, the traditional bonnet scoop. But yeah, enough of that anyway. Onto the oil cooler. We've got the intercooler off and we've got it up here on the bench. It's got a few marks on it from, I think that's from the me fitting the pipework, from the oil cooler. Either that or it's the fire extinguisher foam rotting it, which is fantastic. Anyway, the cooler, initially I thought it was going to be able to fit here, but it's not. So we're going to put it with the pipes facing outwards. We're going to put it the lowest down it'll go on, sorry you can't see, on the back of the intercooler, which is fantastic because it's just what we want, heat in the intercooler, but no, it'll be fine. So now we've got these little fittings here, these pull-through fittings, which are the same as what I've got on the radiator here, these ones for the fan, if you remember that. So we're going to just fit that exactly the same with these there. So I'll do that now. Now that's clipped on now. I will say then they're very fiddly. They're not the same as what I got for the SPAL radiator. You know, the fan that goes on the back of the radiator, sorry. They had like springs on and then the clips were much better. These have got like little fiddly collets almost, like what are on valves on an engine, you know, retainers to keep them in. And yeah, it seems to be okay fixed, but I'd also put some of this, you get it from Halfords, it's called reg plate tape. I think it's called that, but get it from Halfords, double-sided sticky foam. I just ran 2 layers of that up the back of the cooler, just so that it doesn't fret against the cooler and wear it, you know, like it'll knacker it, you know, I've put a hole in it. Yeah, just make sure that's not in the way. So yeah, that's it, we're on. So now we can get this fitted back onto the car. I'm going to put the pipe on, and I've got hose clips to suit. Just these little fuel clips. So they're going to go, put one of those on each of there, and then I'll get this pipe on before we get it on the car, just so it's not got any fitment sort of, you know, issues. Yeah, that's it. I'll go back over to the car and we'll get it on there. That was a bit of a faff. We had to lift the oil cooler pipe. Let me just zoom you out. This oil cooler pipe, yeah, it was going along the bottom. Sorry, it was tie wrapped to this one. It was going along the bottom. So when I was coming to put the intercooler on, it was fouling on that bit there. So I've just lifted it. Let me just whip the flag. You can still maybe able to see a bit better, but I've just whipped it up the top now, so it sits on the top of that that gearbox oil cooler. So both the pipes are on. Both the clamps are tight up and they're clear of the radiator. We're nowhere near there. Up there I was referring to, you know, the back of the clamp. Plenty of clearance. So now what we're going to do is take the ramp up. That's got to go down there to the front thing. Yeah, we're going to take the ramp up now, and then we're going to route these lines and put these fittings. Obligatory cup of tea. Yeah, put these fittings onto the gearbox. So I'll take it up now. Yeah, so we've got these little clips, which I'm just gonna drill and then rivet to the body. The actual line, do you know, this, you know what I mean? Let me go and zoom out again. So we're gonna run from the back of the cooler there. We're gonna go over the top of that boost pipe. And all the way down, like in that gap there, in between, you know, along the chassis leg, which will go up and over the front subframe. We'll just have to loop up a little bit, you know, near them power steering pipes, that side there. And then we can stay, no we can't, we'll go back onto the underside, all the way along, and then we'll cut across, I think, and perhaps onto this, you know, tie wrap, just a couple of tie wraps onto the subframe there. And then underneath, and this is the location that we're going for. So now, this is the pipe that we're replacing. I'm going to undo that banjo there. This is the feed, this is from the back of the oil pump. And then this is the return where it splashes back onto the top of the gear set. So, we're going to undo both of those and replace them with the banjos. Then get the hose, you know, measured out and yeah. So what you will get is a bit of oil leaking out of here, so I've just got a an oil pan, do you know, to catch that as it comes out. So I believe it's 19 mil. Yeah, so it's 19 mil. I've had this off, I don't know how easy that'll come off on your setup if you're doing this, but I've had this off recently because we did a gearbox rebuild. So yeah, and I also had it off to check the size of the banjo fitting that I needed to order. So that's what that fitting looks like when that's off. It's like a banjo fitting. I think it's M14 by 1.5, and it's got like a bit of a breather in the end. We're going to be reusing that. I'm going to measure the thread on that because I may be able to put a temperature sensor in it, just to monitor things. So we're going to be reusing that with the new banjo. Right, just rip this back one off next. We didn't actually have any oil leak or that, which is always good. I bet we have oil leaking out now though, because as I drop the pipe down, sorry. It's a bit of a tight one. Is it leaking? No, still not leaking. Can't be complaining really. Just noticed there's two like little cable tie things that hold the these wires for the neutral position sensor and the rear lander. We don't have a rear lander, but yeah, I'll just move them out of the way and it gives you a little bit more. They're on like a, I don't know if you can see that. You see that there? Let me just try and focus on it. So you just pinch the back of that with some pliers and it comes out. Yeah, let me get that bucket underneath there for when if it leaks. I've actually got some new replacement crush washers. For the reference for the banjos, they're 14.5 millimeter in the diameter of the hole. And I think they're from Torx, I think. So yeah, and they go to a 5/16 or 8 mil barb, I believe. I'll put the links in the screen anyway as usual so you can see if I'm talking shit or not. Right, is that coming out? Is it coming out? Oh, yeah, I think it's leaking out of that one a little bit, but yeah, it is. Nice. And that back banjo that's the back banjo, it's just a normal one, there's no like a threads out in the back of that one. That's M14 by 1.5, I believe. Sorry, there's the pipe that's come off. So that's the pipe that we're replacing now. I'm just going to go and put that over there because it's leaking a little bit. I don't want oil everywhere. Subaru just keep coming through with the goods. Only in this, in terms of this, this is a rare occurrence with it. But what I've just found is the front banjo bolt. Do you know the one that's going through the front of that pipe connected to it? It's actually got a removable bung with a little O-ring on it, little O-ring there, and the threads on there are 1/8 BSPT. So I believe they are anyway. They might be MPT, 1/8 MPT, but I've got a load of these 1/8 MPT temperature sensors. So you can see what's coming here. It was almost like it was meant to be. We're going to put a 1/8 MPT temperature sensor into there, and then it's going to monitor. I'm going to put this to the dash, and then this is going to monitor gearbox temps, which is absolutely fantastic. Bonus. So we've got some new crush washers. These are the banjos what I was just talking about. So we've got some new crush washers. We're going to copper crush washers. We'll put that on, then the banjo on, then another washer on, and then that's all going. That'll bolt back onto the car, and then the pipe goes there from the return from the oil cooler, and with our handy new temp sensor in there, which is fantastic. Same with the other one. I'm just give it a bit of a wipe. Stinks this stuff as well, gearbox oil. Horrible. I've not really discussed the reason behind this. I might have in another video, but the reason behind what we're doing here is, I believe we're overheating the oil inside the gearbox, which is what's causing the breakthrough, you know, through the film, through the oil film. The barrier. If you imagine this is the gear, you've got the gears meshed together constantly. So you've got another gear, the same as this, you know, meshed to this one. When you're driving along, if the oil's overheated, it's degrading and it's not offering its protection. In between the two gears, in between every single one of these teeth and the other teeth on the corresponding gear, there's going to be a very thin film, oil film, like a barrier, protective barrier, you know, of oil to stop it overheating and metal on metal contact and, you know, all that bad stuff. So I think what's happening is I'm overheating the oil and then that's what's causing my failures. But yeah, you can see it's definitely that scuffing there is definitely from breaking through the oil film. That and a combination of running the red line oil, which is not actually meant to be used in a gearbox. So we're going to try these things. I'm adding a gearbox cooler, and I should perhaps at first I should have done this little mod, but I had no idea about it. I've literally just discovered it now, so I should maybe have perhaps started monitoring gearbox oil temps initially, and then gone to this solution if we needed it, but my guess is we probably do need it. So we'll go back over to the car and I'll get this fitted. We've got some PTFE on there. I'll put that in a minute anyway, we don't need that in now. Yeah, this we'll get this screwed back in and then the pipe's connected up to it. I'm just going to put this on loosely initially until we know which direction we want to be going, you know, with the with the pipe. Probably going to be somewhere in that sort of vicinity. In fact, it's probably, not probably, it definitely is going to be in that vicinity. Right, same on the back, get that one on. Quite a little bit of stray oil that we've got leaking there. You can just see it now, it's just in shot there. It's just behind that bit of pipe. I can't let you see it and tying it up, unfortunately, but you'll see it when it's when I've got it screwed in. Again, I'll just leave that one loose just until we get it, so we know where we want it. So we're going to route the pipes now. So I'm going to give plenty of what's the word? Leeway, you know, like, you know what I mean, in terms of cutting this to length, because this is one continuous length, 5 meters long it is currently. So I don't want to cut it the middle short, if that makes sense. You know, and then one leg will be too short. So we're going to go about. This is a bit of a taffle. If we go, yeah, I know it's going to kind of write off this pipe, but if I cut it there, you know, right off, as in I'm not going to have a spare meter. I think I needed 4 meters in total. But yeah, now I've got the two separate lines. We can route this the way that I need it to go. So we're going to go. Let me move this so you can see. It's a bit of a pain. There's that skylight, as much as it's good for light, that's also when I'm videoing up is a pain in the ass. But nevertheless, we're going to go up over that first boost pipe. Remember, careful not to get no crap in the ends. If you were sensible, you'd tape the ends off. And of course, I am sensible. So I'll tape the ends up, just so we don't get no crap crap in the ends of the pipes. Just bang some tape on it. And we're feeding it through all these nooks and crannies. I was going to go. I haven't really discussed this, but I was going to go with AN fittings on all this, and then I just thought, it's again cost. I was going to speak to Aaron and see if he'd make me some up, ABP, but it's not really necessary for this. If it was a fuel system or something, a bit more critical, engine-based sort of stuff, but in the great scheme of things, this hose that I'm using, it's not just like crappy hose. It is fuel hose, so if it's it brings fuel on a factory car adequately, so without leaking for many years. So yeah, will be good, I think. So now we're going to feed over the top of the front subframe. We're gonna run along and put fixings, to secure all of this in place. But for now, I just need the actual routing. We just need it routed through, and then I can go through and put the clips on and drill the rivets afterwards once we've got it cut to the length that we want. Which side of that go? Wants to go on this side. So we've got that going over the front. Got it going over the front subframe now, and into the location where we need it. So we're going to come. Let me move the camera around so you can see again. We're going to come along that front leading edge of the gearbox. Yeah, we're going to run it along this front leading edge here. I suppose we could go up and over the top, but I think we're going to be fine there, as long as it's not getting interference from any of the control arms or anything. As long as I'm going to keep it up and out of the way, and then obviously away from the heat of the exhaust as well. We don't want it near that. Yeah, so we'll chop them now, push them on, and then get some tie wraps on there. Sorted. So we've put, they riveted all these little clips on. I kept it nice and tidy. You're just seeing that on the on time lapse anyway. Goes just behind the behind that brake line, and then clipped to the chassis rail up over that subframe there, and then a couple more clips there riveted there, and then I've actually tie wrapped it down onto this front sort of chassis piece here, just so it wasn't putting, because it's made out of aluminium, I didn't want it to be putting stress on, bending up. So both of the pipes where they come out of the actual cooler, 1 minute, it's not focusing for some reason. Yeah, both the pipes where it comes out of the cooler, they're both under no sort of stress, so to speak. Right, I've decided to go, rather than going underneath the gearbox here, just because of the proximity of this with the exhaust in this sort of region, I thought it was better to go over the top. So I've just gone over the top, and you can see where they just come down there. So that one's just going to go to the that banjo fit in there. We're going to leave a bit of excess in case any future movement, you know, we'd have to reroute the pipes, and then movement as in terms of like removing pipe work and bits and bobs, you know, when we're doing other stuff. But and then this one's going to go, yeah, you'll see anyway. I'll do that and then I'll come back to you. Right, we're all done. I've just took it out, just got that final pipe on, you know, that you've just seen in the last clip. Can't see it from here, but down there anyway. You know, the return from the oil cooler into that little banjo, you know, 8mm barb, that pipe was on. And yeah, I've just taken it just out, you know, to give a little run, get some oil flowing. And I whipped that pipe off again, checked it, you know, it's flowing through, and we're flowing now. Do you know, when you spin the back wheel by hand, it's flowing. So we're all good. What else was going to show you? I got the wastegate when I've had these off and put all the fireproofing, you know, all the, I don't think you've seen a close-up of that, but that's all the Funk motorsport stuff, you know, fire protection on. But I got the two wastegate lines the wrong way around, which was fun. It had unlimited boost again. So anyway, the Scramble button I wanted to show you. I've just been sorting some wiring out in here. I've just sorted a little mount for the ECU up in that spot there. Put some riv nuts on and riveted it up and tidied a bit of wiring up. Yeah, got a box going in around the to box all this section off down here, some like carbon sheeting, you know, to box all that Akiton pin and stuff. So the Scramble button, let me just bang a flash on. It's not really made much difference. Anyway, Scramble button is, I've just made this little carbon bracket, and it's just a push button on like a piece of, like, there's a piece of carbon tube sandwiched in between two pieces of carbon, and then just the wire comes out the back. And then I've got it's literally just off of eBay, just some of this like telephone cable stuff, sort of silicon coated stuff. It's going to do the job. So how I've wired it, on the back of this, I'll try and get a picture up, but on the back of this rotary switch is a load of diodes in chain. So if you imagine on the back of here, there's the center terminal, the reference feed, so to speak, and then there's all the different terminals, you know, but I think this is a 12 position rotary. But all I've done is I've gone in between the reference feed back to the ECU. I've just wired this in series. So all that happens is when this switch works by resistance to ground, using the diodes to alter the voltage of the 5-volt feed that I'm feeding it. So by me pressing this button, all it does is grounds that signal wire. So it basically defaults it to calibration 1. So it's, when you press that button, it's just a momentary button, it's not a push to make or anything. So when you push that and hold the button, it holds it in cal 1, no matter what calibration you're in. So it puts it to 0 volts back on the reference feed, if that makes sense. So you can be in cal 5, cal 6, whatever you're in, and yeah, press that, bang, into cal 1. So all I've done is adjusted the map to suit, rather than cal 1 being my lowest power setting, I've left 5 and 6 as my high power setting, but because I don't really use cal 1, I've just removed the offsets off of the manifold target. It had a 1000 millibar offset on the manifold target, manifold pressure, absolute pressure target. So I've just removed that one bar off there now. So Cal 1 is now the same as Cal 5 and Cal 6. Cal 6 being the same as Cal 5, but with anti-lag. I hope I'm not saying that too confusingly. Probably am, but yeah, this is what I'm doing anyway. I've just had all the seat out and the fire extinguisher, and I'm just let me get underneath there and show you. I've just made like the wiring's still a bit shitty there, but I've just made a bit of a better mounting for the ECU, because it used to be tie wrapped here, if you remember, and it used to wobble about a bit. So yeah, I'm gonna put a nice sheet of carbon fibre going from this top section here all the way down to just underneath the Aki sump, and then down that side as well. So all this full area is going to be nicely enclosed. Yeah, that's it, I think. Other than that, give it a bit of a wash, clean the wheels, wipe it down. I say a wash, it's never seen water. Yeah, just give it a bit of a wipe down, and we're all set for brands. So yeah, I'll hopefully see a few of you there, and then I'll come in and update you after brands. Anyway, take it easy, and I'll speak to you in the next episode.